Good morning, Magic. I'm Gavin Verhey from Wizards of the Coast. And today's Double Masters 2022 preview comes with a lot of history, and I want to tell you all about it. Let's dig in. In 2009, we were in the middle of a multicolor renaissance, Shards of ALARA block, a world we've actually never gone back to, though I hope we do someday. Let me know in the comments down below if you'd like to see ALARA again. Anyway, the first set, Shards of ALARA, was all about 3 colors. Conflux saw the waters get muddied a little bit as the shards began to come together, but the third set, ALARA REBORN, was something wild we had never done before, and will probably never do again, an all multicolored set. Every single card in the set was multicolored. You opened up that pack and you had 15 gold cards. Even the mana fixing in the set were multicolored cards. They were the border posts, which I'd say were somewhere between clever and too clever for their own good. And mechanic-wise, on top of all this, there was something new, Cascade. Originally called Spin in playtesting and appearing on just 12 cards in the set, this would change Magic forever. When you play a card with Cascade, you cast the next card in your deck with lower mana value for free. And while many of you might know it from huge Cascade cards that would appear later on in Commander, like Maelstrom Wanderer, or from Modern, where you use 3 mana Cascade cards to cheat out something like Living End, there was one card which would become utterly defining in competitive play, Bloodbraid Elf. This card is back in Double Masters 2022 in both its normal version and a showcase version, letting you bling out your decks using this iconic card that struck fear into the hearts of so many. Bloodbraid Elf was engineered to be powerful and give aggressive decks a tool in a format dominated by fairies. A 2-for-1 spell that could start swinging right away was exactly the kind of thing which could keep fairies down. In fact, there was a lot of debate around the design about that third point of power on this card. It was tried at 3/3, moved to 2/2 as it was likely 2 power would be enough to get people to play it, and late in the game, the design team added that third point of power back to make sure it hit its goals. And hit its goals, it did. Perhaps a little too well. The ALARA block constructed format became entirely warped around the Cascade mechanic. At Pro Tour Honolulu, featuring the format, hey, I played in this one, the most popular decks by a mile were all base Jund, using Bloodbraid Elf. Some decks sought to flip into what we called Cascade Ultimatum, where you'd cast Enlisted Worm into another Cascade spell, like Bloodbraid Elf or Bituminous Blast. All of this backed up by Blightning made for some brutal and grindy starts. When Bloodbraid Elf hit Blightning on turn 4, it really caused your opponent to slump in their chair. And this block constructed was a herald of things to come. In Standard, the Jund decks picked up popularity quickly and went toe-to-toe with the Fairies Menace. Hooray! But you either die a hero or live long enough to become a villain. And just a few months later, when Fairies rotated out as a little set called ZENDIKAR released, Jund became the #1 deck to beat. This is a classic Magic design problem. If you power creep to create strong cards to fight off another powerful deck, when that deck rotates, you're just left with another powerful deck you have to power creep to defeat. I could do a whole video on this if y'all want it. And we saw this happen here. Bloodbraid Elf was ruling the roost, and blue control was near unplayable after fairies rotated. So WORLDWAKE wanted to have a powerful blue planeswalker to help give blue a tool to fight back. So we got Jace the Mind Sculptor. And I think many of us know how that one went. One of the most powerful planeswalkers in history would get played in every format and would go on after Bloodbraid Elf's rotation to be part of the first Standard bannings in 6 years. But Bloodbraid Elf's reign was not contained to just Standard. It saw play in a dying Extended format. You can go watch my video on Extended to learn more about what I mean there. And when the Modern format showed up on the scene in 2011, Bloodbraid Elf fit right in. With decks that were a melange of the most powerful cards printed since 8th edition, Bloodbraid Elf still made the cut. And in fact, early on, it was controversially banned from the format for how much it was contributing to the Jund deck. But after a while, as the format grew stronger and evolved, the Elf was unbanned, making it Modern legal once more. We've even made cards that nod back to Bloodbraid Elf, like Burning Tree Emissary, which lets you play another spell afterward. And by the way, you'll also find it here in Double Masters 2022, in both regular and a gorgeous showcase version too. Looks like I snuck another preview in here for everyone who actually stuck around for the whole video. Thanks, Magic history fans. From Block to Standard to Extended to Modern to Legacy to Cube, Commander, and beyond, Bloodbraid Elf has seen play. It is a card full of tournament history, and now you can find it in packs of Double Masters 2022. A little piece of Magic's legacy, the good and bad, in your hands. If you enjoyed this historical look at a single card, let me know in the comments below, and perhaps I'll do more in the future. I hope you enjoyed preview season, and I'll talk with you again soon. Until then, may you build your own Cascade Ultimatum. You got this.
The first thing to know if you're drafting Double Masters 2022 is it's all about 3 color archetypes. The mana fixing is so good in this format that it's easy to play 3 colors, or even more, and combine multiples of them. Thanks to Cryptic Spires, more about this wild card in a future video, you can easily fix your mana. So instead of 10 2-color archetypes, we have 10 3-color archetypes.